Your Buffalo Bills were the final undefeated team in the National Football League. Your Buffalo Bills are no longer the only undefeated team in the National Football League. They lose 23-20 to the New England Patriots, and I mean, where do I even start on the laundry list of reasons that the Bills lost this football game? The turnover battle, they lost it. The penalties, the self-inflicted wounds were nonstop. The field position game, the Bills constantly had a long field, the Patriots constantly had a short field. The cornerbacks could not cover Stephon Diggs in his homecoming to Buffalo. The pass rush couldn't bring Drake May down in the moments that they needed to. Keon Coleman couldn't separate for consistent stretches in this game. I mean, Khalil Shakir wasn't consistent enough in this game. The run game was absolutely obsolete in this one. So, yeah, your Bills are going to lose those games. Josh Allen could not go hero mode in the final minute of this one. I guess the final 15 seconds because the Pats just drove down the field, converted third down after third down because the Bills still can't defend on that down and distance, and they ended up winning the game with a 51-yard Andy Borgalis field goal. We'll dive into more of why the Bills lost this game, go in depth as to each of those falls by Buffalo. But first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We do Bills watch parties all season long. We just got off of one on Sunday Night Football, and it was a blast, but did not love the outcome of this game. Hopefully, it's a new result next week on Monday Night Football. We will be live for that as well. So subscribe, turn notifications on, and take in a Bills game with us here at the Bills Breakdown. All right, let's talk about it, man. The number one thing is the number one reason the Bills won a lot of football games in a row, and that's winning the turnover battle. Now, a couple of different ways that the Bills ended up giving the ball away to New England in this one. The first was a botched handoff. I'm actually confused, or I forget if Keon Coleman's fumble was first or if the Josh Allen botched handoff on an end around was the first one. But regardless, two balls put on the ground here, and Josh also threw that pick. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, what was Josh looking at on that throw across the middle? I mean, two DBs draped on Shakir, and he really was never that open. Marcus Jones made a good play on the football, and the Bills turned the ball over in the red zone. They could have went up and taken the lead at that point in the game. And then, dating back earlier, their Bills are moving the football. I think the Josh fumble and the exchange came at midfield, and Keon Coleman came on the plus side of the 50 as well. So you really put yourself in a bad position here, taking points off of the board. And Coleman, I mean, he couldn't do much separation-wise in this game. Had a nice toe tap grab touchdown in the back of the end zone. But then again, aside from that, he had a nice, high point the football on Carlton Davis along the sideline. But again, too little too late for Khalil Shakir, not Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman here. He just was not good enough for long enough stretches in this ballgame. And that's what's going to, sit in my purview longer than the touchdown grab or the catch on Carlton Davis is the fumble and the fact that he just couldn't separate for long stretches in this game. Now let's talk about the penalties a little bit because, I mean, from the get-go, it felt like Sean Hockley and his crew had it out for Buffalo in this one. But again, they are self-inflicted wounds. Sure, the rivalry jerseys, the cold front, all whites, they look like, they make holding penalties and whatnot more apparent, but the Bills could not stop shooting themselves in the foot, even all the way on the final play of the game. The Bills take the ball out of the end zone with 15 seconds left. Probably should have let it drop in there to see if he can get some better field position. And then they ended up getting a holding call on the kick, and they ended up, having to go 80 yards in 8 seconds, and they couldn't do it naturally. But holding penalties, I mean, the false starts, the defensive penalties were rough too. A couple of illegal contact ones that kept Patriots drives going. Just self-inflicted wounds, man. Josh can't be Superman forever, and if the rest of the supporting cast is going to, put the Bills at a disadvantage like this, then it's going to be really hard to win these tight football games. Like, the Patriots are a good enough football team. They got a really light schedule for a long stretch here. They could be looking like a playoff squad here. So, the second time I think the Bills have played a playoff caliber roster so far this year. They go out there, and it is way, way too close. They end up losing this one. The Patriots, they ended up committing their own fair share of penalties. The Bills got some gifts from it, especially on their final scoring drive that they ended up having, their final touchdown drive that they had. But just too many penalties. Offense was taken out of rhythm too often. Like, it just was a total slop fest for Buffalo here. It's quickly about the field position. Like, the Bills' special teams, man, their punting situation is not great. And then when you consider the turnovers given the Patriots field position as well, just not great overall on that front. Now let's talk a little bit about Stephon Diggs because he absolutely torched you. 10 catches, $146. Didn't score a touchdown, but had 2 big grabs that were basically touchdowns. They brought the Patriots inside the 5-yard line. Both trips were capitalized with a touchdown score. So Diggs absolutely murdered you today. You couldn't cover him whatsoever. And it makes me wonder if the Bills desperately need to go out there and make a trade for a cornerback. Trey White can't do it, man. Trey White is not good enough to be your boundary cornerback too on a Super Bowl winning team. It's just plain and simple. Benford wasn't good today either. Taron Johnson's kind of been on a decline, really, if you look closely at his play over the last few weeks or so. And Diggs just got whatever he wanted on that last little flip from Drake May where, stiff arms Daquan Jones, which we'll talk about in a moment. Diggs is able to avoid a tackle. And I think that's something that we should kind of lump in with every reason that the Bills lost today is that they cannot tackle. This is, as far as the Bills being a really good football team, because they are. They're one of the NFL's best. They are some of the worst tacklers I've ever seen in my entire life. Could not tackle Stephon Diggs. Could not tackle Drake May in the backfield when you needed to. When you needed to. Daquan Jones, 300-pound, 6'5" left defensive tackle, nose guard. Just getting absolutely stiff-armed away by Drake May. Falling down, flips it ahead to Diggs. That basically took the Bills out of contention of winning this game in regulation. And the Bills not being able to get off the field on third down again. Let's actually check as I have the numbers right in front of me. Third down efficiency for the Patriots. I won't lie. Bills did a pretty good job today. Held them to 33%. Bills, on the other hand, were 5-9. So I guess the numbers look okay in that regard, but there were some conversions from New England at the most critical times of the football game that the Bills did not end up securing. So you couldn't get him off the field on third down. You couldn't get Drake May on the ground in the backfield, and that has to do with the pass rush. It has to do with Daquan Jones not being able to get him on the ground. It has to do with Joey Bosa not being able to get a sack. A.J. Epinesa had half a sack, but sick. Not enough. Greg Rousseau had one, maybe had one early in this ball game, but again, Groot was only, he had a bunch of solo tackles. He was really good in the run game today. I mean, the Patriots aren't a good rate rushing attack, but one sack. It was early on in the ball game, and it didn't really matter all that much. I don't even think it ended up stopping a drive for New England here. How many times did they even punt the ball today? Because I don't even think they did a ton. I don't know if they have that here. Yeah, I don't have that here. But it didn't feel like the Patriots punted a whole heck of a lot in this ball game. Rousseau didn't do much. Deion Walker did a little bit. I'm not going to ask a fourth-round rookie to dominate this football game. But what I am going to say is this Bills team needs Ed Oliver back big time. I don't think he's going to solve all the issues, but he's absolutely going to help. It was very frustrating. It's an offensive line that I didn't think was all that good in New England. What do you guys think? Can the Bills win this team, win the AFC as currently constructed? With this roster that they have out there right now, can the Bills win the AFC? Let me know what you guys think. Y for yes, N for no. I'll give you my answer after we talk about these awesome deals that we have for you on today's show. But let me know in the comment section. Can the Bills win the AFC with this roster? Y for yes, N for no. Like I said, I got some awesome deals on tap for you guys. Chatsports.com/Buffalo Sale has all these awesome shirts. Gift-giving season, holiday season is approaching. Get your family member, get yourself some fresh Bills gear today. I love this design. Love this Josh diving for the pylon. Love this Pro Bowl one as well. All these at this link and more. These are just my favorites. There's so many more on discounts. Chatsports.com/Buffalo Sale to get yours today. All those links in the comment section and description of today's video. All right, let's talk about the Bills offense for a little bit. Josh Allen, the receiving game just could not really get going all that much in this one. Allen was fine outside of the pick, but really just didn't look all that comfortable back there. This is the sloppiest that the Bills offense has looked. And look, he had ample time in the pocket. It wasn't under crazy pressure all night long. Yeah, he would get flushed out of the pocket from time to time, but he was oftentimes holding the ball with 4 or 5 seconds gone by after the snap in the pocket with protection. And why is that? Receivers couldn't get open down the field constantly. There were not a lot of big plays by the Bills today. There were a couple, 15, maybe 25-yard grabs. I don't even know how many of those I can count on one hand. Receivers weren't getting open. Khalil Shakir wasn't getting open. Keon Coleman wasn't getting open. How much are we going to ask? Josh Palmer, non-existent after one big grab in the first half. He had a 20-something-yard grab in the first quarter or something. Nowhere to be found the rest of the game. Completely non-existent. Did he even play? Did he even play? I don't know if Josh Palmer played in the back half of this game. So you couldn't get your receivers open. And then, you know what's really hard to do when your receivers aren't getting open? Run the football. You know what's really hard to do when the defense also knows that you're running the football? Run the football. James Cook's worst game of the season by far. 15 carries, 49 yards, 3.3 yards a touch. Ray Davis couldn't do anything back there. Ty Johnson couldn't do anything back there. The Bills' run defense was stuffed. And when the Patriots saw Jackson Hawes on the line of scrimmage, when they saw Tyrell Shavers on the line of scrimmage, they know it's going to be a run. And I thought that was pretty telegraphed out of the Bills on offense in this game. Ray Davis, 2 carries, 1 rushing yard, nothing. It literally did nothing out there. You couldn't get anything going really on offense. No rhythm because the run game wasn't there. You had 11 penalties. Committed 3 turnovers. Like, all that stuff makes offense really, really hard. And the Bills just shot themselves in the foot way too often. They won the time possession battle, but they lost the turnover battle. They couldn't get the run game going, and that results in a loss for the Buffalo Bills. So, Bills are 4-1. On to next week. Long week. Got the Falcons on Monday Night Football next week, and hopefully that's a get-right game for Buffalo here, because that was an uninspiring performance, and I think that the Bills may need to be looking at some roster additions. It might be a look-in-the-mirror game for Brandon Beane here. May have to go trade for a cornerback. May have to go trade for a receiver. Maybe at least have to trade for one of the two, or this Bills team may not be good enough to win the AFC. We'll have another video for you tomorrow, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel right here on the Bills Breakdown, youtube.com/BillsNews for the latest and greatest on your Buffalo Bills here on YouTube. We'll see you guys in the next one, and as always, let's go Buffalo.